Step into the spotlight.
What up, gangsters? It's your boy, Underground Geek. Oh man, so I had to get a shot today in my leg, and every time I get one of these shots, I get like a knot in the side of my leg. And I'm not a Boy Scout, so knots are not fun to me. I don't like that. But anyway, feeling motivated. Let's talk about this book. This is Mystik U. And when I first saw it for sale, I mean, that was the first time I saw it. I don't know if I was just skipping over it or what I was doing, but when I went to Midtown Comics and looked it up to come out, that was the first time I'd seen it. So either they're not advertising it or I don't pay attention to nothing. One or the other. I'm thinking it's a little bit of the first one. But this is book one. And the cover is kind of cool because it looks almost penciled. It's got a lot of texture to it. The characters look very, they look not quite hipsterish because they look like they're from another generation. They look like they're from 80s movies, basically. So that was kind of cool because, you know, I kind of get tired of the whole hipster thing. You know, that's going to be something that people are going to make fun of years from now. Kind of like we make fun of the 90s. But, you know, the 80s were silly, but they were fun, you know. So kind of excited to see something like this. We got Zatanna, whatever. Zatara, both of them's her name. She's on the cover of the book here. I always liked her costume, and I like the fact that she's a magic user. So, yeah, I like her. She compliments John Constantine, so I like it. And let's see. Let's go down through here. We got book one. I can barely read the title page, though. This was a bad idea to do this. I don't know how it looks on a physical copy, but you can barely read that the writer is Alyssa Quitney, and the artist is Mike Norton. I mean, you can just barely see that. But anyway, it's kind of cool how it mirrors each other from page to page. It's almost like, you know, you're mirroring a dimension or something, but that's just me. So we cut to instant action. This is one of these classic tales of the good guys have fought a huge battle they've lost, and you know, it's kind of like when you're watching the new Power Rangers, and immediately in the first scene you see the Power Rangers like crawling over the ground, and their Zords are crashing into the ground, and you know, they're beaten and defeated and all that kind of stuff. I like stories like that as long as they end happy. You know, if they end up ending bad again, then I'm like, oh, why did I even watch this? But so this is the prologue. It says, it's the one thing none of us allowed ourselves to consider. What if we lose the battle? And this is Columbia University, 6 months post-malevolence. And she says, oh gosh, John. And so he's laying there, and he goes, not Constantine. He says, Dr. Cole, here, let me help you. He goes, Richard? And then she changes to Rose and says, Rose, Richard is gone. Are you sure? Couldn't he just be wherever he goes when you take over the body? Maybe he's just taking time to heal. He goes, no, he won't recover from this, and neither will I. He says, don't you say that. And so basically they're saying, you know, all the people are gone. Like all the occult users, the team that they had, they're all dead. Malevolence has killed them. And they called them the Malevolence. So that's why I'm thinking it may be more than one person. But basically she's saying that there's only one thing we've left to do. I'm going to have to send you back. You're not going to remember this, and it's going to use all my energy, but I'll be there to try to help you. And she says, Zatanna's power manipulates reality through language, and language has its limitations. For this to work, we need a different approach. We need the incantation unfasten the fetters of time to unknit bone and unmake flesh. It's kind of cool concept. Not to pressure you or anything, but we'd better hurry because Malevolence is coming back with reinforcements. Don't worry. If this works, we'll have all the time we need. And so we cut to this cool scene here where she's taking her back. You see all the students from the school, but at this point you don't know who they are. But each one of them are pretty interesting. So then we cut back, and it's 7 years pre-malevolence. And here's Zatanna. She's younger, obviously. And some people, I know some people commented on Twitter, they were kind of conflicted about this. They didn't like it that she was younger because, she's kind of a sexualized character. And it's weird seeing a sexualized character as a youngster when you've seen her as a full-grown woman. But at the same time, I mean, she was a kid. You realize that, right? Like, she was a kid. She wasn't always just an adult. It happens. So quit weeping over her. And it says, she overhears her dad talking to Rose. And he says, I'm telling you that you're wrong. Zatara, she's got the gift. And he says, I appreciate your interest in my daughter, Rose, but I think I wouldn't have noticed if she had an aptitude for our art. I adore my child, but she is utterly mundane. And that's kind of an insult because it's not really an insult, but Zatanna takes it as one. And they walk out right as they see her leaving. She says, I have a migraine. And he says, I can help you with that. And she says, don't worry about me. I'm fine. So then they go directly to the stage. It's time to start performing. And she has got an attitude about this whole thing because he says, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an evening that we hope will be truly magical. And she says, and not hopelessly and utterly mundane, right, Dad? And so this continues on and on. And something about her is her emotions kind of control her power. Women are emotional, so it's going to kind of make sense that this woman magician would use emotion to control her powers. So she tries to do a trick with her hat and ends up ripping a time in like space and opening a hell dimension. And it starts to suck her in, and her dad jumps in the way, and it grabs her instead. So she has just accidentally sent her dad to hell. And this is where it gets a little weird because she runs away, and Rose is waiting on the side of the stage there, and she says, there has to be some kind of new trick. Only it went wrong. Where's the stage manager? She says, okay, take a deep breath. I need you to calm down and listen to me. She says, lady, I don't know who you are, but you need to get out of my way. My dad's in some kind of trouble here, and I don't know what to do. She says, but your father does. I know this is all new and scary, but you have to trust me. I've known your father for years, and he's gotten out of far worse pickles than this one. Pickle? You call this a pickle? A bunch of demon things popped out of thin air and disappeared with my dad. And she goes, no, you've just come in your powers, Zatanna. You have an incredible gift, and you're going to do amazing things with it. Once you learn control. This isn't a trick, is it? And she says, only one way to find out. Follow me. And she opens a portal. They walk through it, and they're instantly at this school. And this school reads very much Hogwarts. This is what I kept getting. It's Hogwarts. And, I know that other people can have magical schools, but it's very much that. And you can almost see that they're trying to do that. But there's all the students. You see the main characters. I like the little frog with the smoking the pipe. You got the Pegasus in the background. You got a dragon. Pegasus looks pregnant, though. I don't know who draws horses, but looks a little pregnant. So then they walk up and they see the two main teachers of the school. I guess pretty much the principals, and they're very cool because they're almost like the same person split into two. So I thought that was kind of neat. You got the one guy that's like a overly aggressive, and the one guy that's like a bumbling fool. So that was pretty fun. The only thing I don't like about this is you can tell that two different people wrote this book, or two different people did the art on this book, and then you get this big open shot here with it's awesome, and then you cut to this next page and the art is completely different, and there's a lot of areas where it dips down where it's just dots on a face to make the face, and it just took me out of it. Like I had to show it to my wife. I was like, look at this page. Now look at this page. She goes, oh yeah. I was like, I don't like that. It takes you out of the story. So she gives her new clothes because she's still in her costume. She meets the guy with the sunglasses, instantly bumps into him. He's got an attitude. So then she befriends the black girl instantly. And this is what I don't really get because you read the earlier pages, right? Like where her dad got sent to a hell dimension. And now she's like perfectly fine. You could have spent like a whole book talking about this, her trying to save her dad. I mean, this is a serious situation. Now, Rose is not worried because she knows he's powerful, but Zatanna doesn't know that. So that was a little weird for me. So basically, they go in there. It's the first day of school. They got to tell them about everything, and they walk into this room. It's just like a Hogwarts room. There's all the teachers on the side there. You see Intrican, and you see Frankenstein, or Frankenstein's monster. And they said, for more than 300 years, young people have entered the hall hoping to discover and develop their magical talents. Many came from mundane families who thought magic was a parlor trick or a child's illusion until they discovered they had a gift. But you cannot control what you don't fully comprehend. And without the right training, magic can be dangerous to the one who wields it and to others as well. So then we cut the next page and we get the background story for... what is his name? I don't think I've actually ever seen his name. But the Indian kid there, he's leaving his parents. I like his little hat. It's kind of cool. It gives his character. It's fun, So I like that. So now they are all. We've got 3 of the characters together now, and. There he is. His name's David Sargon. And so he uses his little jewel in his head. You kind of get a chance to see what his power is, and he teleports them to the upper floor so they don't have to carry all their stuff. Then they meet the other girl that's in the room, and she's already decorated the room, so I thought that was kind of funny. Then we cut to the scene. They're all talking. They're in the bathroom getting ready, and the black girl does something. She drops her cream down the drain, and she tries to get it back. And when she does, she uses her magic. And her magic has a side effect that always leaves slime. And I thought that was kind of a cool, neat thing to add. But she tries it. And so basically what they're saying in this conversation is when she did that, it sent the remnants of the spell down the drain. And people have been constantly doing spells here and there and washing it down the drain. It's collected now. And there's something going on at the end of that drain, and it's all accumulating. All the magic is magnified in this school, and it's created something. So we're going to get back to that later on. So now we have something for the kids to do. There's a scavenger hunt. Now again, Zatanna's dad is trapped in hell, and she's on a scavenger hunt. But Enchantress, this is Enchantress. The necklace kind of gives her away. She teams up with the rest of them. They all break into groups of 2, and then we get this really hipster guy with the beard, the ironic beard, and the fedora and the shaved or the cut sleeves, and they all cut into 2, and it's a little weird because the women are really aggressive in this book, and it's kind of strange because I don't know any women like that. Like, the Enchantress just grabs the Indian dude by the arm, runs off with him, and then the black girl grabs the hipster dude by the hand and takes him off. I don't know any women like that. Like, it would be women most of the time are a little bit more conservative. Not all women, but just the women that I know. So if I had a woman do that, I don't know how I would really react. But they're kids, so it don't matter. But so of course Zatanna gets teamed up with the guy that she doesn't like. She runs off on her own, and they have a cut scene now. She's in different clothes, so I don't really know what happened, but she's looking for a yearbook, and she's traveled down into the old library, and then she gets attacked by the blob, the big creature that they made in the storm drain. And so the guy shows up just in time to help her. He uses his ability, and he says, go on back upstairs. I've got this. And she goes, no, get off. And then he accidentally uses his ability on her. And then we get to realization what his power is. He kind of is able to absorb your magic, and he gets some of your memories and things like that. And she tried to stop him because the creature wasn't necessarily attacking her. It was just startling her. So that we're going to talk about that later on. So then we cut to Enchantress and the Indian fellow there, and they're looking for something else as well. And Enchantress is something else, but anyway, they hear some teachers talking. So they sneak into this building where they're all having a meeting and they're listening. And the teacher, Rose, is basically saying, we still don't know anything about who the Malevolence is. We're still trying to find out, blah, blah. We have the Gandalf looking fellow in the background. This is like a blatant Hogwarts ripoff. I don't know if Mystik U come before Hogwarts, but this book is clearly characterized after that. And she goes, this is the part that kind of made me cringe a little bit. She says, I still can't tell whether it is male or female or non-binary. It did confirm that it was from my future and that I exist in its past, but that's pretty much all we know. And I was like, really? Did you have to work that in there? I mean, I'll make it easy for you. There's two genders. There's male and there's female. Get over it. But anyway, that's just me. So then they keep talking, and the Gandalf looking Hogwarts wizard. What's the Hogwarts wizard's guy's name? It's not Gandalf. It's Aldous Dumbledore. Dumbledore. That's what it is. Dumbledore. The knockoff Dumbledore wants to cut the talking bird's guts open and look at his liver to tell who the Malevolence is, and he's like, no. So then Mr. E shows up, and he smells Enchantress's perfume instantly, so they have to take off running. And then Enchantress is like, since we're not doing anything, we should make out. And I was like, this is weird. But so anyway, she tries to kiss him. It doesn't work out. We'll talk about that in a minute. We get hipster boy and the black girl. They hear them screaming. They go running, and it seems like the dude's ruby of life on his head zapped Enchantress. When they got too close, and it's because, of course, as we know, Enchantress has these dark magic tendencies, and the ruby sensed the evilness. But so they fix it, but now the creature showed back up, and it has hipster dude's hat on. So they're like, oh no, he killed the hipster dude. So they zap it. The goo goes all over the women's face. And so then that's all that's of that deal. And this kind of goes on and on. We have more talking. They're trying to investigate what happened to the missing hipster. They add these guards to the school because the creatures run around, and the guards are like giant ants, like giant tree creatures that are pretty awesome. Not much to say about that. Then they talk a little bit more about how to use magic. And the book really is a little bit too long, but we'll go into that a little bit later. We get a chance to see the black girl's abilities. She's able to sense Zatanna's magic, and then has like a vision, and it knocks her down. And then the creature is at it again. The creature's attacking people. Not really attacking people, but just like startling people. Before they're able to stop it, it actually teleports away. And then we cut to another page here, and Enchantress is once again making out with the Indian dude. And I'm like, my gosh, she is aggressive. And so then, of course, the creature shows up to ruin everything and like sucks them both up. And then at this point, we're to the point where we figured out that the magic was created by the black girl. She has an effect on it and is able to change it. At this point, they stop it, but then it reconfigures itself, and now it has actually established language. It took a long time for it to develop it because, it was going through like a gestation period, but now it's able to talk. And then from that point, they were able to figure out that the hipster kid actually just ran away and went home. He didn't actually get eaten by the creature. So I like his Kid Rock poster on the wall. That was hilarious. So now the monster is just part of the class. They just said, well, we can't really get rid of it. It's a sentient creature, so, we'll put it in here. So it's sitting there in class with the Frankenstein's monster teaching Magical Ethics 101. And the monster's giving the girl answers to the questions. So now they're instantly best friends. So at this point, we have another meeting between the teachers again. And they've kind of figured out more about what's going on now. They did some kind of seance, and they were able to find out that these 5 kids are actually that one of them is going to be malevolence. So you know what Mr. E's solution is? He says, we cannot ignore the signs. So Rose, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to kill them, or would you prefer to handle it yourself? And I was like, holy crap, that's where the book ends. And he says, yeah, let's just kill them. I was like, oh my God, dude, settle down. But that's pretty much where the book ends. It was a little bit too long for me. It was like over 50 pages long, and I didn't really feel like it needed to be. I mean, did it really have to be that much about the school and everything? I don't know. It kind of droned on. If it takes you 30 minutes to read a comic book, then it obviously wasn't that good, because a good book you can just blow through. I mean, really quickly, because you like it so much. This book felt like homework. And not to say it's a bad book, it just kind of concentrated on things that weren't that important, you know? So I don't know. I thought it was kind of silly. But overall, if you like magic school kind of comic books dealing with teenage deals and stuff like this, if you like Riverdale, you'll probably like this. But all in all, from what I can tell, the story's okay. Now, talking about the villain Malevolence, I'm going to go ahead and call it and say that all 5 of them ends up being the Malevolence. That together they make the Malevolence. That's just me, but I think that's what it is. Now, I know Zatanna was fighting them, but I think that there's something going on here, and it turns out to be the Malevolence. Now, it could be the goo. The goo could end up being the Malevolence. You never know. But I think that's probably what's going to happen. It's all going to be like a group deal. But yeah, that's all I got to say pretty much about this book. The art kind of, like I said earlier, the art kind of got on my nerves, because you could tell that 2 different artists was doing the book, so it dipped up and down and kind of took me out of it a little bit. And I kind of wish they had just kept the story from the original couple of pages where they were fighting the Malevolence. You know, it seemed really cool, and I think that's why the reason that they did it. They were like, see how cool this book's going to be at the end? See, get ready, guys. And then, you know, they cut back to them being kids, and I was like, I don't know if this is really geared towards me, but I don't know. You may like it, you may not like it. Tell me what you think about this. If you know more about these characters than I do, obviously I guess they're going to grow up to be, you know, serious magic users, but hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I also have a Patreon. Tell me what you think about this book if you've already read it. If you hadn't read it, tell me if you're going to go get it now. Tell me if you're a fan of Zatanna. I sort of am. I've always been more of a fan of Constantine just because, but she's still cool. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later. Underground Geek out.
I wish I knew you when I was young.